Hi everyone, Dr. S here, and this is part 2 of talking about the evolution of your venture learning from E1 to E2. And what I wanted to focus on now is why are we doing a consulting project? And this gets to an underlying way that we approach learning in our environment through experiential learning or something called problem-based learning versus what you might have traditionally seen going through your primary school, your high school, and then probably a lot even in your college. One of the things that we know about learning theory, and I studied this a lot, wrote about learning theory in my dissertation and did multiple papers on this over the course of my career, is that adult learners are not kids. Adults, in fact, like to reach for different things in terms of how to solve a problem. So if we can put adult learners into a problem context or some challenge that they need to address, then knowing that they need to address it, knowing that they don't know how to address it yet, will encourage them to reach for the theory and practice that they need or the tools that they need in order to be able to actually address the challenge or solve the problem. And thus, in E2, what we're trying to do is give you a really rich and deep challenge, a consulting project that will help you reach for the different tools that we have in evidence-based entrepreneurship. So let's take a little bit closer look at this, what we mean. So here's really the old way of doing things. And I'm sure you've experienced this a lot. You get lectures and readings, maybe some other types of materials from your professors that goes into what is presumed to be your empty bucket of a head. And then what you do is you spit it out in midterms, finals, and papers. This is a classic model. The universities have been doing this for a long, long time, longer than I've been alive. It's certainly how I was taught when I was an undergraduate. And for many folks, this seems to have worked, but to be honest, it's not leveraging the most current understanding of what we know about how adults learn. And you are all adults. And so we need to shift our technology from an old way to a better way. And that's really what we do in our program, is we use problem-based learning within a community, which makes it really rich. We go for many different sources of information, whether it be theory or practice, and we put problems in front of the students and we ask you to solve them. And you get information from your peers, your professors, community members, interactive workshops, videos, readings, and on and on and on. Of course, we might use lecture, we might use reading, but we combine it with a much richer set of sources so that you can get a variety of different types of outcomes. Sure, we might still do papers. We even have a couple exams along the process in the minor. Yet, the whole idea is that we're building many more things than just what we're grading. We're building relationships. We're building we're building things that we've applied. We're actually having impact. We're creating new things. You're retaining knowledge. You're advancing your skills and abilities. You're aligning your attitudes. So it's not just about filling up your empty bucket of a head where you regurgitate it and then forget it. It's taking the problem to theory, to practice, and doing it again. And the iterations, the multiple times we do it, our job as instructors is to design challenging problems that have you actually practice the same tools and the different things. We keep adding more in, but to do it at a more advanced level each time. And so moving from a very simple concept of E1, where you're taking an idea and moving forward through the BIC, to being able to describe fully a business that exists already using the business model canvas and all the associated tools, to ultimately go into E3 where you're actually using all of that and designing an event from scratch. We keep making the problem or challenges in front of you more complex. Thus, you're learning through these iterations and using these tools and processes and models and applying them in more complex situations so that your knowledge, skills, abilities, and attitudes advance. If you have any questions, let us know. I'm super happy to talk to you about this. I find it really exciting, and that's the way that we built this out for you so that you can advance your learning.